Hi, this is Hill Country Kart Club, a place that I have lots of history with. I didn't say it was good history. Despite my best efforts over about 1.5 to 2 years, I never really got a good result at this track, except for once on my birthday at nighttime when everybody crashed and the guy ahead of me actually had some mechanical problem and I almost won the race, but I didn't quite because I didn't know what I was doing. Other than that, I haven't really had success. Unless you like crashing, and in which case I've had success 2 times. Or, no, 3. At least 3 times. 3 times. But that's okay, because I've been racing regionally for the past 2 years, and I've done very good. So now, I'm ready to return to my home track, the place I have been defeated time after time and bruised every time I drive there because it's so bumpy and the surface is awful. Dear God, it's bad. It's really bad. But anyway, Hill Country Kart Club isn't a huge kart club because, well, that surface and it's not very big. But the people who do race here have raced here a lot for many years. And to top it all off, this is going to be the hardest race at this track that they hold. It is Kartoberfest. It's an end of a year single event that takes place over 3 days, where you have practice on Friday? Yes, Friday, and then you do qualifying, 2 heats Saturday, a pre-final and a final Sunday. It's a bit of a biggin. So, my only goal going into this weekend is to not be slow. I do not care where I finish. It would be nice to get a podium or even win, but I don't want to be slow. I want to show that I got pace, and through my time in regionals, I've learned how to drive a go-kart. It's time. The practice day. One of the most important and one of the most difficult sometimes, but not all the time. Heading into Friday practice, we immediately had an absolutely horrible time because we put on one of our old engines just to, run something that wasn't good in practice. And it immediately failed. It didn't survive a single lap, and it completely sputtered out. Didn't know what the problem was until a few hours later, but we switched over to our race engine. So on our first session out, we ran a 41.4, which is actually pretty good. We timed Mr. Garrett Weaver, the GOAT, arguably, he kind of got demolished by some guy for a while, but it honestly wasn't that bad, and I feel like he's gotten better since then. But he's held the track record for a while. And after timing him, we ended up being about 0.4 off. So he ran 41 flat, we ran the 41.4, 0.4 off. Not exactly where we wanted to be, but it was first session, and I know that typically I speed up through the sessions. I don't really plateau very often. But this time, it was a little different. As the day had progressed, we kept getting slower and slower, 10th by 10th, until at the end of the day, we were running like 42.3 or 42.4, which is like almost a second off of our original pace, and well behind Mr. Garrett. So yeah, that was a little bit confusing, a little bit foreboding. I thought this was going to be like my previous races. The first year, my engine started dying, and I progressively lost speed over the weekend until I got into that massive wreck that I showed you earlier. And then, it was not good. It was not good. I don't want to do that again. So that's kind of what I thought in my head was going to happen. And I was just like, well, yikes. But we will continue on anyway, because there's nothing else I can do. All right, let's get ready. It's Saturday. Let's go. Let's go out for warm-up. What do you mean we didn't bring the truck keys? Okay, so nobody brought the keys for the truck, which has my racing gear inside of it. That's a problem because we live like an hour away. Scheisse. So we scrambled around for a little bit, and I actually got somebody else's suit that was super old and had a massive hole in it right here. There's like an actually huge gaping hole, but I looked sick. Here, look, that's aura. That is aura right there. A few hours later, we're about to head into qualifying, so we put on new tires, do a little tire pressure change, get ready for qualifying, this time with the right racing gear because we got the truck open. Hooray. So, we go out. I kind of just find some open space, and I set a lap or two. I don't have video of it, but I set like a lap or two. I think we ran a 41 mid again, which, I mean, that wasn't very good. So we're still like 0.5, 0.4 off, somewhere in that range, even with new tires. But it wasn't too bad because other people were having problems too. According to the people around, they just couldn't get grip. They couldn't figure out what was going on. And, I mean, we were lost too, but hey, at least it wasn't that bad. So we actually ended up P3 out of 10 people. So, not bad. Not bad. We'll take that. We'll take that. We move on to heat race 1, qualified 3rd. Just gonna start warming up our tires here before the start. Making sure they're nice and toasty. You'll notice very aggressive tire warming on this track, sliding around all over the place. It's quite fun. But eventually we slow down, and you'll notice we're actually starting in 2nd, because the guy who was going to start in 2nd actually ended up not doing so. He instead went to the back to try and race people, so that's something we'll have to worry about. But for now, it's pretty simple. Just try to get a good start. Don't get shoved out. See what we can do. Now, the way I was thinking of doing the start is just waiting for the flag man, because we were told before the race that's what you're supposed to do. Wait for the flag man to wave, and then you go. But the guy on the inside didn't really listen to that, you'll find out. So, we go up to the line, we're creeping. Inside line creeps harder, and we do not get a good getaway. Almost shoved off the track, but still in the fight. I defend for the first corner. No real crazy stuff going on. Hit over the curb. A little bit of an outside move going on, but they don't make it. And then an absolutely massive crash. Huge hit. And we're kind of out of that race, but I still have a bit of a long race ahead of me, so I get back on the track to recover this race as much as I can, so that we have a decent position in the pre-final. And now here you'll see we're behind a rookie driver, and this will show you exactly why this track is so difficult, because going through the first corner he completely misses the apex, and that's fine, it's okay, but you'll notice we can't really get by him even though he missed the apex. And then again here, brakes way too late for himself, but there's just nowhere to go really. It's not a track that's wide enough or high grip enough to make advantage of it. We do end up getting by him though, and by a couple more people, to recover the race to 5th position shortly after my camera did this. But it was a pretty good race considering we got crashed out in the first corners. Alright, moving on to Heat 2, you'll see that we're actually starting in 3rd because the guy who I was talking about earlier was forced to move up to the front because he caused that huge incident. Which, you know, it's okay. It is what it is. That just means we got more competition up front, and this time I know what to do on the start, so I'm hoping for a much better race. Rounding last corner, and we get up right on the bumper of the guy in front, and we're waiting, and we're gone. Up the inside, I carry as much speed as I can, but the outside line gets a very good exit, and I just kind of get squeezed here. You can't see me, bumped from behind. We end up losing a position, and you find Hip Check Harold, number 16. I have quite a bit of history with this guy. Well, not a lot, but in my last regional race, he gave me an absolutely massive hip check that actually put me out of the race. So I know he's going to be a very, very hard driver to overtake, even though we've been around 1 or 2 tenths faster than him per lap. You'll see in a couple of early laps, though, we didn't really have pace. I knew the car would come in, though, so I'm just on the hunt, trying to catch him every single corner, doing as best as I can. And you'll see after a while, we actually do end up catching up to him pretty quickly. And the leaders are kind of gone. They're fighting in front, but they're definitely not in range, so it's going to be me versus Hip Check Harold. And you'll immediately notice I have a bit of advantage on the top end, it seems, so I'm going to try and use that. Right now we're really just looking for where I'm good and where I'm bad. I noticed through this section he gets really good through those couple of corners, but I'm getting really great exits on the first straight. I look for a move, but decide that it's not good enough. I do think that's where I want to go for the move, though. So, the goal, stay close, don't get shoved off, make the move, and run away immediately, because I know if this guy gets a chance to race me, it will be very sketchy. He gets a good exit through there as usual, but here, we're going to get a better one. I see the cues, I'm pulling. Just need a good first corner. And I like it. We're gonna go for it. Brake super late, lock up, sideways completely. But we actually make it through, and he's not even side by side with us at this point. I do a kind of half defense. Just looking for a good exit here. I don't really get one. At this point I can't see it, but he tried to get alongside me there. Falls back behind. Going up through Helter Skelter, he actually goes aside me here and nearly runs me off the track. Pretty much just robbing me of the place completely, and the hip check Herald strikes yet again. But nothing to fret. I know I'm still faster. I know I can make it work. We see the same sort of cues as the first time, but I decide not to go for the move because I think he's going to expect it. So instead, I'm trying to get an exit here and get him down in this corner. And I like it, so we go for it. Really deep. Block the line just a little bit. And he tries to get a run alongside, but doesn't make it happen. And this time, through Helter Skelter, I'm going to go much tighter, making sure he really can't get that switch back. And that's the move done. Now all I need to do is hold for a couple more laps. And we fast forward. Final lap, final corner. I defend because I know he's still pretty close behind me. But we take the checkered flag in third. A pretty good result. Especially considering we had to fight Hip Check Herald. But we were much slower than leaders still. However, for the pre-final, there was a change. We got a recommendation from Billy Musgrave, a quite well-renowned kart racer. And so we're hoping that this time with the changes, even though I won't know how to drive the fucking thing, we're going to be a little bit faster. Running last corner, we get a great start. Looking to try and take second, but it just doesn't quite amount to anything. So I defend again at the first corner, as per usual. Take it pretty slow. They try to over-under me, but it doesn't really happen. A standard first corner. Just glad to not be out of the race. And this time you'll actually see the leaders did not pull away in those couple of corners. So I'm thinking at this point, maybe the setup is actually pretty good and we have good pace. We're just going to settle in and try and catch the guys in front. I know they're going to fight super, super hard because apparently these two have quite a lot of history of battling. And this race will certainly be no different. I actually notice here, I feel like I'm fastest in the technical stuff. And I can really see that I'm gaining a little bit. So I'm very confident that I'm going to be part of this race and I might actually be able to win it. Fast forward a couple laps though, and you'll notice that I make an absolutely huge mistake. Definitely losing time and kind of putting us out of the race on a track like this, but I still know they're going to fight. I still know I'm quick. So we're just going to stick in it. You can see that Weston's looking behind and Garrett decides to go for a move. Makes it stick, and that's just extra time for me. Weston's not happy with it, which is exactly what I want to see. Them going side by side into a fast corner. They barely don't get into a crash, but this means that I get to gain an absolute load of time through here. Clattering over the curbs, I defend, and I feel a bump from behind. So I now know this is a 4-kart race. Fast forward a couple of laps, it's getting down to the wire. And rather unsurprisingly, Weston's going to try and go for a move. Makes it stick. Garrett wants an over-under. Doesn't quite get there, but I push him because this fighting is nothing but good for me. Going side by side into Helter Skelter. Yet again, I don't know how they're not crashing, but they're banging wheels. Going right over the bumper of Weston. And we all kind of defend a little bit going into the last corner, knowing that this is a tight, tight race. Anything can happen. But right now, for the first time in the race, I am right on the bumper of these two. And really, it's anybody's game. I know that Garrett's not going to stay, and he doesn't. He goes for the inside. Clean move. Makes it happen perfectly. Weston wants us to go for it. Weston decides to go for the move. Clatters over the curb. Garrett gets the over-under. And I try to go for it as well. But just don't quite get the exit. I'm on the outside. I know I'm not going to be able to hold it, but I brake late anyway just to keep the position. And Weston is absolutely appalled by my decision. It's an absolute crime. Weston clattering over the curb yet again, trying to get alongside, just doesn't make it happen. And then sends a late move. Really, really flawless there. Defends in the last corner. I try to get the over-under. Get a great exit, but just can't get there. That's V3 yet again. So, a good start is secured for the final. And most importantly, we were only 1/10 off the pace. Those changes really made a big difference. It's time for the final. This is what we raced for, and it's what I've spent years chasing, trying to get results, trying to improve myself, improve my kart, figure out where we were losing. And now I can taste it. It's right in front of me. It doesn't even matter if I win this race, but if I podium and I show that I have speed, that's what matters. Let's do it. A pretty standard start, except this time we have Marshall to worry about on the left. He gets through. He actually gets a great start for the first time in a while. I try to over-under on Weston. Can't really make it happen. No good exit. And now I know the order is a little bit mixed up. I think Weston and Garrett are the favorites to win this race at this point. So I know there's going to be a bit more fighting. And I just want to follow Weston through. And he's wasting no time trying to get by. Looking for every opportunity. But Marshall goes up to the lead. I bump Garrett trying to get through on Weston. Doesn't work, no exit again. Weston mauling, as per usual. I decide to bump him, stay behind, and let the others fight it out, unless I start to see things go wrong, but hip check Harold bumps me out of the way, moves me completely. And so we lose a bit of time there. That is a pretty bad thing to happen to the race. But I don't think he's going to have the pace to stick with me, so we're just going to keep lapping, keep running. And you can tell Garrett wants to make a move at this point, so I expect he's probably going to go for it in the next couple of laps. But you can see we're quick. We are quick. Catching them basically on raw pace. And now we're right there. On the bumper, I won't stay behind Weston if I have a chance to overtake him because I know I need to get through him at this point. It's just a 4-kart race at this point. We have completely checked out on Hip Check Harold and everyone else. But there's just no way to really overtake. We're bumping each other. All in a line. Weston's telling me that he's going to go for a move. We're going to follow him, but we are kind of not there. I try to get an exit, but I just couldn't get it. So I know at this point, things are going to get spicy. I really can't lose too much time to this fighting. We've already lost quite a lot. Garrett's happy to see that. Weston's still looking for an opportunity. Anywhere I can get it, but he's just not finding the cues. I expect he's going to go for it in this last corner, though. And on the next lap, he does decide he wants to go for it. A really tight move, but he makes it happen cleanly. Marshall wants to go with him, but I don't want to go with Marshall, so anytime I can overtake him, I'm going for it. And thankfully, Weston is catching Garrett, and we are not losing Garrett, which means we're still in this race. Unfortunately enough, though, going through these couple of corners, you can see Weston has a huge issue with his kart, almost collected in the incident. I look behind, grab some grass, and it's on. Now, all I can do is try to close the gap. currently, but I'm looking for P2 at least, and maybe even to get the race win. I notice I'm quite quick through here, I have a much better line, and I want to make a move, and I decide to go for it. Late on the brakes, too late, a little bit of a slide and a hop, and he's beside us right here, almost fully alongside. I know I'm going to lose in this next corner, but we're going to go for the over-under. We kind of get there just barely. I stay in, he pulls out, and we're in P2. Running. And that's all that's left. There's no time to catch the leader. I know we're about the same pace. I know he has advantage up here. I check behind me, he's still there. The last sector. Final corner. I take it in second place. And most importantly, I was the fastest for the first time ever. I wasn't trying to find the standard. I wasn't trying to meet it. I was the standard. And that is more than enough for me. For now. Well done, Garrett. Sorry you had to get knocked out, Weston. The race. It was a hard one.